There we go. Today, this is Ed Dose at St. Vitus Studios. And today we get the privilege of talking to Roger Fisher, founding member and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Roger Fisher. How you doing,
Good
Rob?
evening, Edward.
Good evening. I like your cloak.
Yeah, it's just this is just the starting uh part of the outfit for tonight.
Nice, nice, nice,
We
nice.
had to we had to cut holes in the sleeves so I could get my hand out so I can play guitar tonight with
Oh,
a
awesome.
couple of groups. Yeah, yeah.
Good. Are you doing a Halloween show? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a birthday party for a dear friend at a nightclub in the Seattle area.
Nice.
And two of my favorite bands are playing, and so I'll go sit in with two bands, and life is good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. This whole podcast is about inspiration for a younger generation, people who are just starting out and having a little bit of trouble getting over the hump of COVID-19 lockdowns and all that bullshit. And I wanted to find out how you started playing guitar and how you stayed involved in it and kept pushing yourself to do better.
Oh man. I just had a conversation with somebody last night about that. And the key is when you find something that you like to do, you do it a lot. And when you do it a lot, you get good at it. So the key is finding out what you love.
How
But
old
not
were you
that.
when how old were
Not,
you
not,
when you
not
started?
yeah, I got a late start. I didn't start till I was 15.
Wow. And
So yeah, so what I managed to accomplish starting that late is, it was it surprised me.
I bet.
Yeah.
So what were your first bands? What got you started? How'd you move along with that whole process?
Well, Steve Fossen, a heart space player, and I started playing our instruments at the same time. And of course, well, we both just loved the Beatles. So our first band, we did a lot of Beatles songs.
Right.
And excuse me. And well, we just wanted to be a band like that,
Right.
And to us, we weren't like trying to be rich and famous or trying to score girls. It was about music for us. So we were definitely in it for the love of music. And, people talk about how hard it is on the road and stuff like that. Man, it wasn't hard on the road for us. We were just in sheer joy to be out there touring the Northwest in our little vans and pickup trucks and stuff and going to gigs and just being crazy, wild teenagers, having a great time. And steadily evolving, steadily going up the ladder that you have to climb to get to a professional, a high level professional position. And, your love for your craft is infectious. And when you meet other people that have a similar love for the craft, you're attracted to each other. And that's how you put a winning band together, I think.
Right.
By happenstance encounters with these like-minded people, and you get together and go, oh my God, we should be in a band together. Yeah. And that's what Heart was. Each one of those players had a dream that developed as they were learning to play their instruments, and that guided them toward each other. And luck and fate plays such a big part in life, and you really increase your chances of good fortune and having good luck when you live and breathe your craft. I've got a call coming in. Let me just hang on for a sec. I'll be right.
Okay. Anyway, Roger Fisher lives not too far away from me. He's been over to the studio several times. I've done some photographic work for him, and apparently we've just lost him. So we'll try to get him back here in a second. Hopefully he'll resend the invite. But yeah, he doesn't live too far away from me here, and he and I have gotten to know each other quite a bit through the studio here, the photography studio here. Hey, there he is. So I was just telling him that you've been over to the photography studio several times, and you know, we've done some photographic work for your new whiskey. And why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the whiskey, because I think it's kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, well, the whiskey. So we've got this really great whiskey that you can't buy because it's not being distributed near you yet. Probably it's distributed in Vancouver, Washington, Portland, other cities in Oregon, some cities in Nevada, and some cities in Texas. But we're working right now to get it national, which is tricky and challenging when you are the small guy and the big guys don't especially want you in their playground.
Right.
That said, we do have a really good chance at something happening by what we're working on right now. And hopefully that will go well. But the whiskey is it's called Heart of the Blues. It was kind of inspired by time that we spent in the Mississippi Delta. And that's also the name of an album that we put out a couple of years ago. Really great album.
Yeah.
And it won second place in international competition.
Wow.
100% rye, 100 proof. It's really, really tasty. It's really smooth and sweet. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 100 proof, and it for somebody who doesn't drink that much, for me, I know it knocks me for a loop a little bit when I drink it, but I do like it. Yeah, it's great stuff. Hey, I wanted to talk a little bit. I saw a picture today while I was finding pictures of you, and there's a picture of you sitting on a bunch of speaker cabinets in Japan. Do you remember that? Do you remember that photograph, or do you remember doing that at all?
You mean sitting, or you mean way up high up on top of a PA?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that concert.
Oh my God. Well, that was the biggest concert in Japan's history in 1979. And it was the Beach Boys, us, Firefall, and one of probably Japan's most popular rock group at the time.
Wow.
And it was south of Tokyo, probably, I don't know, 30 miles or something, at Enoshima Beach. And there were, I think, 90,000 people there that day, something like that. Just a sea of black hair. Except there were a bunch of Navy guys there too.
Wow.
But it was 95 degrees, 95% humidity. And the group that was on before us, their lead singer passed out from the conditions.
Wow.
So I don't know, maybe he wasn't that healthy or something. But when we got up there, we played our hearts out. And at the end of the set, somebody came up to the stage from the soundboard where my brother was doing sound. And he said, "Hey, your brother said you should climb up on top of the PA stack." So yeah, 60 feet. I had to climb up the backs of the PA speaker boxes which was fairly scary, you know,
Yeah.
in that heat and humidity and carrying a guitar. So I climb up the backs of these speaker boxes and I get up on top and play the guitar behind my head. Yeah. So the people just went wild.
I'm sure they did.
It was a beautiful moment, and that's an epic photograph.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm gonna post pictures as we've been talking. I'm gonna post pictures underneath so people know what we're talking about.
Excellent.
I'm also gonna post links down below so you can find Roger's whiskey and his new projects and stuff like that. Now you mentioned your brother, Michael, whom I've met and we've hung out a little bit. And you guys have an unusual thing that you do in the koi pond behind your house. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and why you do that?
Well, how many of you people have heard of Wim Hof? Wimhof. He's like a household name now. He's so popular and well known. Wim from the Netherlands, and it's a fairly involved story, but basically he discovered that he loves cold water and that it's really beneficial to your health to get in cold water every day. And he also talks about breathing exercises whereby you infuse all the cells in your body with oxygen by these breathing exercises. So every cell in your body uses oxygen for food. So if you can oxygenate these cells, that's really a good thing. Now, what happens when you get in cold water, it's beneficial in several ways. And what people are discovering is that it's really helpful for dementia. And the reason why is what happens, you get in cold water and the tendency is, get me out of here. This is cold. Let me out now. You know, your body is freaking out. But what works for therapy is if you allow yourself to not freak out and just relax and breathe. Just concentrate on breathe. And after a while, when you realize that you are relaxed, by then your blood going through your brain has slowed your brain down enough so it goes down into the crocodilian part of your brain, which is where it meets the spine. When it gets there, when your consciousness gets there, that's a fight or flight area of the brain. So it's a very meditative state. Now you're going to edit this later, right?
Well, yeah, a little bit. Yep.
Okay, so hang on half a second. My time is real limited, so I'm making dinner.
No worries. No worries.
Okay, hang on.
So Roger has this koi pond in his backyard, and him and his brother Michael jump into the koi pond during the winter and do what he's talking about to revitalize themselves and things like that. And when they told me this, I was like, there's absolutely no way that I would do this.
That is most people's response.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not be doing that whatsoever. So I'm gonna have to find a video of you guys jumping in the koi pond back there.
Yeah, we can make one.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But it's not just in the winter, it's year round. In the summer, obviously, it's really pleasant to be in there.
Oh, yeah.
So in the summer, I think the hottest I saw our pond was 68 degrees. And right now it's 53 degrees.
Yeah.
The thing about being in water, though, is that you really feel temperature changes. Like one degree Fahrenheit, that's a big difference. You really feel that.
Oh yeah.
So and I do this every day. So last winter, when I started in February, the pond was 43 degrees.
Yeah.
And that's cold.
Yeah.
That's really cold. To be able to make yourself stay in there really requires a certain kind of willpower.
Right.
And when you are successful at doing that, it gives you a kind of confidence, and you feel like, damn, I'm pretty good that I can do that, you know. So it's good, healthy psychologically. When I get out of that cold water, Ed, I feel younger. I feel like,
Really?
man, I am, you know, your body is alive and
Rejuvenated. Yeah.
and you're chilled to the bone. So you get out and you start lifting weights and doing push-ups, sit-ups, and running in place. And you know, it's just great.
Wow. Yeah. You don't need to look forward to me jumping in the koi pond anytime soon. I won't be doing that. Oh, we lost him again. So I'm gonna, when he gets back, when he gets back on, I'm gonna talk a little bit about his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony, and talk to him about that and see how he feels about that and what the memory is, and how that came about. Hey, Roger, I was just talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. So tell us a little bit about that and how you felt about that, and how that came to be.
That was quite a deal.
Did you drop me in the water?
What?
Did you drop me in the water?
I dropped you in the hamburger.
Oh, nice.
And I can't hear you now.
So yeah,
I don't know.
we can hear you. You're a little blurry. But that's okay.
Well, I look really blurry to me. Oh, this is the. Where's this camera?
Everybody just got French kissed by Roger Fisher. Nice.
That's better.
That's much better. That's much better. So tell us a little bit about the ceremony for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we're going to come to a close after that.
Okay. Well, the deal is that when I left Hart, you know, it was a lot of hanky panky had gone on, and there were some hurt feelings. There was a lot of angst. It wasn't the most wonderful scenario you could imagine.
Right.
And so then all these years later, we get back to do this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame show. And I don't think they knew what Roger Fisher was going to be like. And I think they had created a little bit of anxiety about what might happen. So they had Alice in Chains guitarist Jerry Cantrell.
Yeah.
They had him on hand, and I wondered why he was there, but I think the reason he was there because they didn't know what Roger was going to be. So he was kind of a security person to have aboard.
Right.
So that was fine by me. I mean, it was great to meet him and have him there. He and I, when I came to the rehearsal hall, Ann and Nance weren't there yet. And so me and Jerry just started singing Alice in Chains songs. He was playing them and I was singing Lane Staley's parts. And that was so much fun. And we had a great time, nice relationship doing that. And then Ann came in the room first. This is down in LA. We were right next to Ozzy Osbourne's rehearsal space. Ann came in first, and she and I went up to her and got real close in her face, and told her hi from my brother, and we just had a nice little kind of healing moment there for a second.
Yeah.
And then Nance came in, and I did the same thing with her, and that felt good. And then it was just a bunch of professional musicians in a room together rehearsing, with all kinds of funny jokes being said and stuff, real light and fun like it usually is. And we had a great rehearsal. I mean, after all those years, see, 2013, that would have been like, I can't think of how many years, 32 years or something like that, 35. And for it to sound as good as it did just immediately, I mean, the very first run through, it just sounded great. It's like, wow, there's our band, there's the old band. But one thing about it that was really tense was, we had an incident back in the day where the politics behind the scenes, the power plays that were at work, we were being kind of pushed out of the band, my brother and I. And there's several reasons for it. There's several reasons why these specific people would rather us not be in the band. But back then, I started to catch on to conspiracy things that were going on to get us out. But I had no idea. We only found out recently some things that were going on back then to get Mike and I out of the band.
Wow.
I mean, Mike and I and Ann and Nat were basically the foundation of the chemistry that made it successful. And if other people could have more control of Ann and Nat, that would be good for them.
Right.
So me and Mike had to leave. So various mysterious things happened where you'll have to read our book because it's just too much to tell. But things happened that got reported back to Ann and Nance to where I had to go. But some of these things happened. I was set up. It's too much to try and tell. Anyway,
no worries.
at the Portland Speedway at this show, I had figured it out, and I was pissed. I was really, really pissed.
Oh,
So,
you found out during the music award?
I can't hear you.
You found out during the music award?
No, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
I've elongated the story. I'm back at the Portland Speedway now, anyway, so I had figured out this stuff that was going on, and I was furious on stage. And at the end of the set, my guitar was going out of tune. I had broken up with Nance, and I was miserable. And so I smashed the guitar. So that was one thing. But then back in the dressing room, because I knew things that I couldn't say, I couldn't talk about it. I mean, it's way too much to just bring up. Yeah, well, anyway, so in frustration and to let them know that I was angry and that I knew things, I threw a guitar against the wall. Well, Anne said in a public video that I threw the guitar at Nancy. So of course, all these people believe that Raj is the villain. So anyway, at the rehearsal, there's this lady that's part of the Heart entourage, the Ann and Nance entourage, that is staring me, looking at me like I am just evil and that I should die immediately. Just hate in her eyes, and that was not comfortable.
I bet.
Yeah, so that's what that was like. As far as the music and the relationship and vibes of the band members, that was all good. It was all good. So There you go.
Yeah, nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for being on, Roger. I really appreciate it. And I know you're a busy guy. I know you got some shows tonight that you're going to do for the party and stuff like that. So I appreciate you taking some time and talking with me. And I will post all the links to all your stuff down below so everybody can find everything. And we will talk to you soon.
Okay, yeah, we can do this again sometime when I'm not so distracted.
No worries, Roger. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Sure.
you.
Thanks,
All right.
Ed. We'll
Yep.
see ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.